Good evening, everyone. Am I audible to all of you? Okay. Okay. So, welcome to the session of BEEE. Before starting, I'm just giving you the highlight of our previous lecture, that what we have completed in the previous lecture. So, we have discussed about the power factor and its significance. In that we have seen the definition of power factor, what will be the power factor in resistive case, in inductive case, in case of capacitive case, right? Then what is the actual meaning of power factor? Then after we have seen the analysis of RC series circuit. Again in this we have seen the relation or phase angle in between voltage and current. What is the current equation in case of RC series circuit, right? Also uh, power in this case. Then after we have seen about series RLC circuit, right? In that we have taken three different cases, that if XL is greater than XC, then what happen? If XC is greater than XL, then what happen? And if both are same, then what is the circuit behavior, right? All these things we have completed in the previous session. Along with this, we have solved one numerical which is based on RL series circuit, right? So according to me, we have completed up to this. Today we will solve some more numerical based on this, and then we will start parallel circuit. Okay, so all of you can see the data over here. A capacitor of capacitance 79.5 microfarad is connected in series with non-inductive resistance of 30 ohm across 100 volt 50 hertz supply. Find impedance, current, phase angle, and equation for instantaneous value of current. So here you can just note down the data which is given, only this numeric value. So you can see capacitance is given in microfarad. Then it is connected in series with the non-inductive resistance of 30 ohm. 100 volt supply is given, 50 hertz frequency is given. And by using this data, we have to find impedance, current, phase angle, and equation for instantaneous value of the current. Yes. So anyone, first of all, anyone can tell me what is the first step if you want to solve this type of numerical? First of all, we have to identify case, whether it is RL circuit, RLC circuit, RC circuit. So if you just observe the data, the case which is given of RC circuit, RC series circuit, right? Now you have to use all the relations we have studied in RC series circuit in order to find all these four data. Yes, so what we can find first? If I want to find the impedance Z, if I want to find the impedance Z, what is the equation for series RC circuit? Square root of R square plus X square. Yes, so anyone X is given or not? Is it given or we have to find out. Not given, right? So right now I just think that I'm just discussing with only one student, and that is Vishwajit. No other students replied over here. Yes, so X is not given. So first of all, you all have to give me the answer of capacitive reactance. Okay, I'm getting one answer from Vishwajit. What about others? All of you have to solve it. Randomly, I can ask to anyone. And if you are not respond, if you will not respond at that time, I will simply mark absent. Okay, I will give you the 1 minute. Calculate capacitive reactance and tell me your answer. Okay, so let me ask to enrollment number 6 mechanical, Mit Kanani. Yes, Mit, what is your answer? Mit Kanani, every enrollment number 6 from mechanical. What is your answer? Mit, are you there? Hello, Mit, am I audible to you? Okay, so Mit is not replying, and that's why I'm just considering that he is not in the meeting, and I'm removing him from the meeting. Okay, so here you have to use this equation Xc is equal to 1 upon 2 pi Fc, right? Pi Fc, 2 pi Fc. So F is given 50 hertz, capacitor is 79.5 microfarad, 79.5 microfarad. Okay, so if you put these values in Xc, you will get Xc as 40 ohm. Okay, and the answer which I am getting from Vishwajit, from Prithviraj, that is correct answer. 40 ohm. Put down the 40 ohm over here. Also resistance is given because here it is mentioned that it is Non-inductive resistance means pure resistance. So it is 30 ohm. Put down the value 30 whole square plus 40 whole square. The answer is 50. Okay. Now you have to find the current. So current, how we can find? V is equal to I into Z. Z is there. V is already given 100. So it is 100 by 50. So it's 2. Right? Yes. So two things already completed. Now this two is still remaining: phase angle and equation for instantaneous value of current. So quickly find out the phase angle and tell me your answer. You know the equation in RC series circuit, that what is phase angle, right? Tan inverse something divided by the another one quantity, you remember, in terms of XC and R. Tan inverse XC by R. Okay, I am getting from Vishwajit, it's minus 53.13. What about others? Okay. Here I am getting that tan phi is equal to XC by R and phi is equal to tan inverse XC upon R. So it is 53-degree lead. Okay. Now the answer that's you are getting is minus 53. I just see in the chat box. Now that is why minus, because if you see our theory, in that already we are getting minus XC upon R. Okay, but at that time also I told you that it depends on the reference you are taking, either it is current or voltage, right? And here when I'm taking minus sign over here, it is clearly mentioned that current is taken as a reference, right? Current is taken as a reference, and that's why the negative phase angle implies that voltage lags behind the current. Voltage lags behind the current, right? If you are taking voltage as a reference, if you are taking voltage as a reference, in most of the case we are taking like this, right? So that time you will get it positive XC upon R, and you have to mention that it's a capacitive voltage, and it is this phase angle is leading due to RC series circuit. Then equation for instantaneous value of current. Who will tell me the equation for instantaneous value? Now suppose one more thing is added in this, that is power factor, then how we can find? Already you know the angle, right? So you just take the cosine of that function. Again, I'm getting the fast response from Vishwajit, 2.828 sine 314t plus 53.13. Okay, let me ask to Nandan. Nandan Rayani, enrollment number 7. Yes, so Nandan, are you there? Nandan, are you there? Yes. So tell me your answer about last term, equation for instantaneous value of current. Nandan, I'm waiting for your answer. So Nandan, you are getting or not? Okay, so let us see. First of all, the equation for instantaneous value of current is in general form. It is written in case of RC series circuit, Im sine omega t plus phi. Omega t plus phi. The value of phi you know, and that is 53 degree. Omega is 2 pi f. So you can put 2 into 3.14 into 50. So it is 314 into t plus 53. Okay. The question is the maximum value of current, because previously in second point we have the value of current, that is 2 ampere. Okay, but at the time when we have studied the theory of RL series circuit, RC series circuit, RLC series circuit, at that time I told you that the applied voltage and the current which is flowing due to that applied voltage is the RMS value. If nothing is given, then we have to consider that the given value is RMS. Okay, and here in order to find the instantaneous value of current, we require the maximum value of current, and we know the relation in between maximum value and RMS value, that is Vrms is equal to Vm by root 2. So I have to just multiply the obtained value of current with root 2. And that's why I'm getting 2.828 ampere. Okay, so put that value directly over here. Omega is 2 pi f. It is 314 radian per second. And sine 314t plus 53 degree. This is my answer. Okay. So anyone, any doubt in this numerical? I have one more. A 230 volt, 50 hertz AC supply is applied to coil of 0.06 Henry inductance, 2.5 ohm resistance connected in series with 6.8 microfarad capacitor. Calculate impedance, current, phase angle between voltage and current, power factor and power consumed. So total 5 things that we have to determine, and for that these are some numerical data which is given. Voltage is given, frequency is given, right? The value of inductor is given, resistance is given, and 6.8 microfarad capacitor is also given, and it is mentioned that all are connected in series. So from the given data, one thing is very clear, that it is the case of series RLC circuit. Okay, so first of all, you have to try and give me the answer that you are getting. Okay, if your answer is wrong, nothing will happen, but at least you can try to calculate it. I'm not just saying that find out the all things. If you just find out the impedance correctly, then also it's very good for me, right? If you find more than this, well and good, but just try it. I'm waiting for the answer of impedance. Okay, I'm getting answer. We will convert millifarads to Faraday. Yes, yes. It's not millifaraday, it's a microfarad. It's microfarad. Vishwajit, 449.5 ohm. Okay, so one answer I'm getting over here from the Vishwajit, that is 449.5 ohm. How many of you are getting this 449.5? See, first of all, we know that impedance for series RLC circuit is what? Square root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Okay. R square plus XL minus XC whole square. So inductive reactance is not given, capacitive reactance is also not given, but resistance is given. And instead of inductive reactance, inductance is given. And we know the equation XL is 2 pi FL. XL is 2 pi FL. Okay, so you have to put down the value over here. If frequency is mentioned, then it is there is no problem, but if it is not mentioned over here, you have to take it by default 50 hertz. Similarly, capacitance is given, but capacitive reactance is not given, so you can use this equation. Xc is equal to, again, 1 upon 2 pi fc. In the previous numerical only we have used this 2 pi fc. When you are putting the value of capacitor, just convert it from microfarad to farad. And just see whether your capacitive reactance is more or inductive reactance is more. Because if you remember, we have studied about 3 different cases in case of series RLC circuit. Okay, so from once you will find out XL and XC, you come to know that whether your overall response is capacitive or inductive. So anyone can tell me the individual value of XL and XC? The value of XL and XC. XL is 18.84 and XC is 468.34. That means here capacitive reactance is more. Okay, so capacitive reactance is more. That means it is our second number of case where we have considered this condition, XC greater than XL. Okay. Well, now find out the impedance. Already you all got 449.5. Then current I is equal to V by Z. Z is 449.5. Voltage is already given in the data, 230. So you will get the value of current 0.512. Zero 0.512. in ampere. Then next is phase angle between current and voltage. Okay, now give me the answer of this third one. What I can write inside of bracket of this, tan inverse phi is equal to tan inverse, what I can write on the numerator and denominator. XL by R minus XC. XL by R minus XC is not correct. Okay, XC minus XL upon R from Vishwajit, XL by R from Prithviraj, R into XC again from Abhi. So okay, so Vishwajit is your answer is correct. I have to write XC minus XR, XC minus XR, sorry, XL upon R. Because normally we can write XL minus XC, okay, but in that case your inductive reactance is more. Right now in our case, you are getting 468 something your capacitive reactance, so that is far more than the XL, right? So in this case you have to write XC minus XL upon R. Put down all the value and find out your angle. Once you will get the answer, as I told you, in case of angle and in case of power factor, just do not write the numeric value. Okay, you have to specify whether it is leading or lagging. So tell me the final answer of angle phi. Sorry, mic is off. I just told you that here you can see your answer is correct, 89.7 lead. If you are using Excel minus XC, okay, then you are getting minus sign with your answer. Okay, so you have to make it plus in order to show that your current is leading, right? But if you are taking XC minus XL directly, as I told you, right? So in that case, you will get directly your correct answer, that is 89.7 lead. Okay. Now you know the angle which is 89.7 leading. In the fifth case, we have to find the power factor. So it is very simple. Just take cosine of angle. Sorry. Just take cosine of angle phi. So you will get your power factor. Again, just not write the value. You have to write it with value as well as a response. So cos of 89.7. 0.005. Okay, leading. And the last one, power consumed. Which equation I have to use for power consumed? Yes, this is also correct. Avi, you can use this equation, R upon Z. Okay, for power consumed, we have to use VI cos phi, correct? Yes, VI cos phi. VI and cos phi, all three values are there. You just have to put down the value and calculate. Point 0.66. Okay. Yes. So here you can see the power factor is 0.00557 lead, and power consumed is VI cos phi. V is given 230. I is already calculated 0.512, and cos phi is 0.00557. So you will get 0.656 watt, the total power consumed. Okay. If you looked at the value of power factor, that is 0.00557, what do you think about this value? your output power is very less, we can say, if you look at this value, because of very high capacitive reactance. Okay, I told you that if your power factor is 1, you will get 100% output for 100% input. If your power factor is 0.95, that means 5% losses are there. If it is 0.8, then 80% output and 20% loss. But here, if you can see, only 0.5% output is there. Rest all are losses because of very minimum power factor. So this is the case of RLC series circuit. So far we have calculated three numericals, one from RL series circuit, one from RC series circuit, and another one from RLC series circuit. Now you have to keep on practicing more and more. Okay, and one more thing that you have to do, just open the book that you refer for this subject. Okay, and try to solve out some numericals. If you will find any kind of difficulty in case of this, just tell me so that I can solve one or two more numerical in this session. Okay, right now I'm just keeping up to this numerical, and we will start our new topic, that is the methods for solving parallel AC circuit. So methods for solving parallel AC circuit. So far we have seen series circuit only. So let me just take the parallel AC circuit. Suppose either we have one resistance, one inductor, and one capacitor, and one capacitor is connected in this manner. Okay, if we are connecting our three elements like this, resistance, inductor, and capacitor, and here I am giving the supply voltage. Due to this, current I is flowing, let us say. Okay, V is VRMS, I is IRMS. Now this current is, when it is reaching at this point, okay, it will find three different paths to flow. This one, and this one. So I can say one current is passing through resistance, another part is passing through inductor, and the remaining part is going in capacitor. Okay, again the three are meeting with each other at this point, and here you will get the I current again. But in case of series, if you see, the constant current is passing through three elements or two elements, whatever it is connected, right? Now if you look at this circuit, this is our series RLC circuit, parallel RLC circuit. If I'm removing the capacitor from this, it is parallel RL circuit, and instead of capacitor, if you remove this inductor, then that will be your parallel RC circuit. And we have different methods to solve this parallel AC circuit, and you can see all these 4 methods over here. The first one is by using phasor diagram method. Second one is by using phasor algebra method. Third one is equivalent impedance method. And the fourth one is admittance method. Okay. One by one, we will see each and every method. So by phasor diagram method, the first method, by phasor diagram method, in this method we find magnitude and phase angle of each branch current. Magnitude and phase angle of each branch current. That means right now in circuit you can see resistance and inductor is connected. So we have I1 which is passing through resistance and I2 which is passing through inductor, and you have to find the magnitude and phase angle of both this current. And suppose you are connecting capacitor again, the third component of current is I3, and you have to find phase and magnitude of that branch current also. Then we draw phasor diagram by taking voltage as a reference. Then the circuit or line current is the phasor sum of all branch currents. Okay, and that's why here you are taking again the total current I, but you don't just add it arithmetically. You have to add all 3 components by using the vectors. Okay, and for that we have these 2 methods. Either we can use parallelogram method or we can use method of component. Okay, all of you are familiar with both these methods, parallelogram as well as method of component, right? So I'm just taking one example so that you can understand. Consider a parallel circuit which is consisting 2 branches and connected to an alternating voltage V. Okay, in one branch R and C are connected in series. Okay, in second branch R and L are connected in series, and both these branches are then connected in parallel. Okay, and then I'm going to supply the alternating voltage V, and due to this current I is flowing. Out of total current I1 current is passing through branch number 1 and I2 current is passing through this branch number 2. Okay, and if you see in branch number 1, capacitor is connected in series with resistance, and that's why it is the output response is like capacitive, and here inductor is connected in series with resistance, so output response of say branch number 2 is inductive. Okay, so you can just consider that it is RC series circuit and branch number 2 is RL series circuit. Okay, so for branch number 1, if you want to write impedance, current and phase angle, because without impedance you cannot find the magnitude of current. Okay, and because I told you that we have to find magnitude as well as phase angle, so here I1 is the magnitude and phi1 is the phase angle for that current. So I can write for branch number 1, Z1 is equal to square root of R1 square plus XC1 square. I1 is equal to V by Z1 Okay, and phi 1 is equal to tan inverse xc1 by r1. If you have any doubt in this equation, you can tell me, or else you can just look at the theory of RC series circuit so that you can understand it completely. Okay, and similarly you can write for branch number 2, it is RL series circuit. Okay, so just replace XC by XL, R2 square plus XL2 square under root, then I2 is equal to V upon Z2, and phi 2 again you have to just replace this XC1 by XL. Okay, so tan inverse XL2 by R2. So we have magnitude and phase angle of the branch currents. If you look at the third point, then you have to phasor sum of branch current, means we have to draw the vector diagram, okay, by using the method of component or parallelogram method. So here you can see I have drawn the phasor diagram by taking voltage as a reference. Before that, I1 is passing through RC series branch, so it is capacitive, and that's why with respect to voltage this current is leading, and that's why here you can see the current vector is just drawn at leading position with respect to voltage. I2 is passing from RL series branch, so that is inductive, and that's why this I2 is lagging with respect to this voltage, right? So here angle is phi 1 with respect to V and I1, and with respect to V angle, the current I2 is at angle phi 2, because that is denoted by phi 2 over here and phi 1 for branch number 1. And by using parallelogram method, if you just drawn the parallelogram, you already know the method how to draw it. You will get your resultant current, that is I. Okay. So in this way you can use it and you can find the resultant current, capital I. So anyone, any doubt up to this? Okay, so we will keep up to this portion. Now still it is not completed, right? Next time I will discuss about this mathematical part, and then we will start our second, third and fourth method. In this is very important actually, phasor algebra. When we will start this method, all of you keep your scientific calci with you, so that you come to know that how what is polar form, what is rectangle form, and how we can convert from polar to rectangle, from rectangle to polar, that is okay. So without fail, in next session, all of you please keep your scientific calci with you. Now let me just give you the summary of today's session. We have solved two numericals today. One is based on RLC series circuit and another one is based on RC series circuit. Okay. Then after we have started methods for parallel AC circuit, I have just given the introduction of parallel circuit. Okay. And then we have started our method number 1. In the next session, we will discuss the remaining portion of method 1, and then after we will start all these three methods. Okay. Now if you have any doubt, in today's session, you can ask your query. Yes, Vishwajit, I will share the syllabus of midsem exam just after completion of the lecture. Okay, so do not worry. Now please write your enrollment number into the chat box by mentioning your name and division name, TF1, TA1, TS, TH1, like chemical, then TJ1, mechanical, then TA1. Okay, everyone. Thank you for attending this session. Keep on practicing of numerical this type. And if you feel any doubt, you can ask. Now I'm going to end the meeting for all of you.